does anybody want to give like a report? Like, where are you at on your, I don't have my thing in front of me. Oh yeah, I do. On your, Steph keeps coming out and in. I wonder if she's having trouble. Where are you at on your goals for the group? How close? How far away? Have you hit it? Steph probably hit it, right? You've got, let's see, chat bar. Y'all can unmute yourself if you want to. Yeah, Kimberly locked it in last week. McKenna has 3 coaches to go. Anybody else? McKenna, do you have your new emerald, or did you pop an emerald with new people? I don't remember.
I think I have 2 more to go.
2 more coaches, yeah.
Over.
Hey, just pay attention to where you put that. Get it away from the TV.
Let's mute everybody.
I gotta figure this out. Like, hold on, so I mute everybody. Okay. All right. Not yet. Yep. Shannon, 4 coaches, and yes, Shannon popped an emerald. That's so exciting. So was like, I mean, I feel like for our team, and I had to mute you guys, but so unmute yourself if you want to. But I feel like for our team, Let's Get Up went well. I know, not everybody's like teams took advantage of it. And that's okay. It's behind us. It's like totally behind us. But I saw that Carl Deichler has another announcement in the round table. I'm wondering if we'll get like more codes or something. I don't know. He's up to stuff right now. Okay. All right. Let's see. We've got most everybody on. So let's see. Christine popped an emerald. That's awesome. Yep. Okay. All right. Okay. So we have, just to recap, like as far as like the pot and hitting that 6 new coaches and 1 new emerald, we have until May. What did we say? May 3rd. Well, wake up May 6th and have that new emerald and then 6 new coaches by then. So you really and truly have a good bit of time left. I know that our team and some people from the Dream Team and the Rising Leaders, we are doing a coaching opportunity call Wednesday night. If you're not, doing that with us, definitely plan to recruit some way. Yes. Megan, you want to unmute yourself?
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt you talking. The BFF codes are still valid too. So like, I know I had reached out to all of my coaches who got them, who didn't use them. We got an email at one point, which I almost think we might get another one, saying who got one that hadn't redeemed it yet. So I know I got one from one of my coaches. So I will follow up with those people as well, just to see if anyone else has a BFF code that we can use too.
Yeah, I'm still like, I feel confused by all the codes at this point. But yeah, they'll email us out, I guess, again, if we have any coaches that haven't used those. That's true. And then, obviously make sure, like if you did sign people up with the CEO codes, like if you make them a co-admin of your challenge groups, they actually get 3 $10 off codes too. So like if they want to sign somebody up, if they want to give them to you, they're not going to use them. Like it gets a little confusing, quite honestly, all the codes, but there are so many different ways that we can offer that discount to people. Especially with the Shanti, the Let's Get Up, the challenge packs are $140. So, like I had somebody reach out to me today, like somebody, have been nursing for like years, I feel like. And she's like, hey, what all comes in the challenge pack for $160? I was like, well, actually, you can sign up now for $130 because I have a $10 off code, right? So like don't forget, like if you get confused by it, ask us. Hey, Mel. And so let's just make sure we're using all those things because we do have a lot of advantages. Hey, Mel, since you're on, before we field the questions, do you want to talk about the emerald, like getting your emerald? I know that was something you wanted to do.
Sure, I can do that. That's fine.
How's it going?
Good.
I did a call for Kim and Jamie Fitzpatrick. So that's what I was doing right before this. And every time I do a team call, like I start to sweat profusely. Does anybody else do that? I'm sweating so bad right now. I know. Oh my God, it's terrible. Oh, anyways. Okay. So Emerald, yes. That's like one of the big requirements. And I don't know how many of you that are listening right now that's like the last thing that you have to button up. So you can get your 6 coaches and your 1 new Emerald. But I find that a lot of times that this is where kind of the wheels come off, is because we don't necessarily know how to position it. So looking at who you have right now that is signed up, I guess, for you guys looking at your downline, like, do you have a coach that is interested in doing that, like signed up with Let's Get Up? Ask them, like, do they have 2 friends? Do they have a friend that is interested in doing Let's Get Up with them? And then they can sign up their spouse. They could instantly be Emerald, right, with their first 2 signups, and they're going to make commissions off of their first 2 challenge packs that they sell, and they're going to get 4 Success Club points. So I want to make sure that you guys are thinking about, okay, who are the people that I can reach out to? Do I have, like, going into your sponsorship drill down and looking at the sponsor, not the graphical genealogy, but go look at your sponsorship drill down. Like, do any of your personally sponsored coaches have 1 coach and they literally just need the second one? Right? So go look, because if somebody has 1 coach, then they haven't signed up their spouse yet. That's what we want to encourage them to do, right? So a couple of things, like when I signed Matt up, we didn't have challenge packs back then. So if I were going to sign Matt up today, or my spouse or my significant other, or if you have a child that is 18 and is going to drink Shakeology too, or do the workout programs alongside of you, right? Like any of those scenarios. So what you would do is because you get a U+2, I would sign Matt up with a challenge pack, and I would sign him up because you get the $40 coach sign up fee, right? When you sign up with the challenge pack, and then do a 3-day refresh challenge pack, right? So you get a 3-day refresh, buy packets of Shakeology in the box. And then what I did was I did the refresh for myself, because then I had results that I could share. I could promote the 3-day refresh and sell some of those, right, to my current challengers or people on social, which I do remember getting a 3-day refresh and doing that. But then the packets, I always had people that were like, I want to try Shakeology, but I don't want to buy a box of it. And so I just created like 5 packs, where I would just put like 5 packets of Shakeology together in a little gift bag or a mailer and mail it. And then I typed up in a Word document on my computer how to make Shakeology. And I gave my favorite recipes, and I did like some of my troubleshooting tips. Like, if you want it to be thicker, add more ice, right? If you, like, I talked about banana and peanut butter, kind of making it smoother. And so I just gave all of my like insider tips. I put things in there like, if you get gas after you drink Shakeology the first time, try a half a scoop. It might be too much fiber. I like told people why they might be gassy. If you have a really poor standard American diet before you do Beachbody, yeah, your body's not going to really know what to do with that. You're for sure going to be having some issues. So I put that in there, and little Melanieisms. Like, I talk like that. I tell people that all the time. Gave them some of my favorite recipes, my email, my phone number. They could text me, call me, whatever. And I would mail that out, and I would just charge people. They would PayPal. Now we have Venmo, and I would just charge $5 a packet, and I would mail it out or hand deliver it. But I would make my money back off my packets, or I would just keep them for myself and use packets when I was going to be traveling. So there's all these ways that I looked at it as a business investment, and I would teach that to your downline, teach that to new coaches. If they're coming in and they're wanting to work the business, them getting to Emerald, this is now the time to do it. So a couple of different options. You can sign up your spouse with the challenge pack, and the way that I explained it with the 3-day refresh, you can have a best friend that they can sign up, and they can be Emerald immediately. Unlocks the compensation plan. It's going to get them a win in their corner. They're going to get Success Club points. They're going to get commissions. It's some recognition, right? So we want to build people up and get them early wins and wins fast, right? And then once they get there, we'll talk about the next step. So that's kind of like the short and sweet of it. But I really want I want to challenge you to actually reach out to people in your downline that want to work the business and really help them get started. Even if you have to give them the wording, even if you have to type it out for them, like that's how they're going to build the confidence to then continue on. When they see that it works, they'll be more likely to do it again. All right. Anything that I missed? That's kind of my thoughts.
I was just going to add to that. I think one of the things in this business is when you are hitting like a recognition of emeralds, it just builds confidence. You feel like I'm doing this, and as you start to grow and add coaches and, and then you hit diamond and you're like, oh my gosh, like you get even more confident in the business and what you have to offer. And I think that's one of the biggest things with this business is, just how good it feels to get to those certain points, and it just kind of fires you up. And then like, you're like, oh, this feels good. Like I want to keep doing this. And I think a lot of times too, we overcomplicate things. Like for me, becoming emerald, like it was just because it was an accident. Like I literally had my mom and my friend that saw I was getting results and wanted Shakeology. And Melanie was like, oh, you can just sign them up underneath you, because I was a discount coach. And I'm like, cool. And then I'm like being celebrated for being emerald. And I'm like, what's that? So it's like sometimes in our head, we like overcomplicate things, or we get nervous, like, oh, I'm going to put these people, and build my husband or build my husband's account or help him build his account. And we get nervous, like, well, what if they ask, why is my husband their coach and not me? And we let these like little things like prevent us from even asking, the questions. Like they're not going to care. Like you're their coach. Like you're going to give them everything that you said that you were going to give them. But we let these like little insecurities or fears kind of prevent us from experience, the confidence that we can easily get in this business. And so I just want to really encourage you guys to kind of like, if you're feeling that way, reach out to like one of your mentors if you are struggling or you're scared or you're like, I have this fear and I just need to get over it. Like we want to be there to encourage you guys and to just like pour belief into you. That's why we have you guys in this group, because we believe in you and what you can accomplish and do with this business. But yeah, I mean, we want you guys to all have that confident feeling when you're achieving these goals, because once you get a taste of it, like you just want to keep going with it for sure.
Hey, and Courtney just asked a question about those packs, like selling those packs. I learned early on, like, don't give away what you have to offer because people either won't use it, they won't see the value in it for sure. But she asked how I sell the packs, and I sell them for $5 a sample or $12 for 3 samples. Is that right? My math is right. Yeah. So that is, and you can do like, I mean, you can make your own like weekender packs if you want to, that type of thing, with all your samples. I also, under my spouse account, well, Matt drinks and eats everything Beachbody makes at this point. But, when I was trying to keep him active, we did order things like the 3-day refresh or, like beach bars or just anything extra. So, it is a business strategy that messed with my mind for a long time, ordering things under my husband or my mom's account or something. But you're just running a business, and, just it's smart ways to build and to grow and to use what you have until you guys all use it like we do now.
Yeah, with the packets too, I actually just typically offer 5 or 7 as options because I don't want them to have 3. Like I keep the vegan chocolate, vanilla, and cafe latte. I don't do any of the whey-based ones, and I don't do the strawberry. Like those are the 3 that I keep because those are what I like. If I have to end up drinking them, then I have what I want. But I just do 5 or 7. It's 25 or 35. I have shaker cups because now we get one with every challenge pack. So I usually throw one of those in. I shove all this packets into the shaker cup, put it in a padded envelope. I sell them always at $5 a piece, and then that will cover my shipping. So I don't make a thing, but I obviously had purchased them. So I got volume when I bought it in the first place. And then I usually throw in like an Energize stick or Bevy stick or a beach bar or something else, because they're probably going to want those too. And then whenever they order, eventually. Talking to them about the discount makes more sense because if they want to try the Energize or add something else on, they're just saving that much more. And then also, in just thinking of like having things that you're selling or sending or mailing or whatever, I also keep Energize sticks. Like when I bought the Let's Get Up, I bought the mixed berry because the time before that I bought lemon, and I'll do a thank you note to everyone who buys from me. And I just stick in like the 2 Energize sticks. So I can just use a regular thank you note. It's non-machinable. I don't know how many people like go to the post office the frequency that I go, but it's not just a regular stamp because of the packets in the air. If it goes through the machine, it will burst. So it is a special stamp. It's just non-machinable, but it costs like $1 to send them. And again, most people who try Energize will like it. So there's just other things that I use to build my volume. Like whenever we had Let's Get Up, I literally spent like hundreds of dollars because I got everything with a discount, everything with free shipping. I bought beach bars to send out, Energize sticks to send out, Shakeology box of packets. But then I'll use those to send out as thank yous, or if somebody's really doing well in the challenge group, or if somebody's like, has anyone ever tried Bevy? If I can pull their address, I'll pull their address and send them a little thank you note. Like, you're rocking the challenge group. Here's the Bevy. They love that. Like, those little gestures mean more than anything else. So I'm a constant, frequent visitor to the post office sending things, but then my customers stay longer and they appreciate it. And those little things really go a long way.
All right. Christine said, how do you feel about offering them to sign up for the free workouts with your coach link? You mean offering like a sample of Shakeology, Christine? Is that what you mean? Have you had success converting to clients, coaches? I personally have not had a lot of success converting people from a sample to a client or a coach. I always like your best option is the challenge pack. Now I have definitely had some people do the free trial. I had a girl do it today. But typically I just go straight for the challenge pack personally. Okay. So we asked you guys to bring us some questions tonight to the call. I know my girls had some. I know Melanie's had some too. But if you guys want to unmute yourself and ask us questions, you can do that as well. Or we can just go ahead and start. You want to do that? You may want to unmute yourself and ask questions before we share what you guys shared with us. They're gonna be quiet tonight.
I can ask mine.
Go, Shan.
When your business was most successful, like when you think back, what kind of sneak peeks or how are you presenting the opportunity? Was it an email? Was it a blog post? Was it a Facebook group or one-on-one calls? Just curious.
I'll unmute. It was all of it. It was just pure energy, I think. And I think different things work all the time, but I was writing a blog post. I was posting it on Facebook. I was posting it on Instagram. I was inviting in my challenge group. I was doing it every single platform that I possibly could. And like, I even see it. Some of my posts were bad. Like, they were so bad. They come up on my Time Hop all the time, but I was excited. So I think now I overthink it. And now I'm like, well, it has to be written this way. And it has to be like, not to look at me. I think I overthink it now. Or before I was like, I just got a free t-shirt. Who wants to be a coach? Like, I just was the dumbest, most simple, straightforward, excited things. But I'd say that was whenever, like, I grew fast in the beginning. Like, I was quick to sign coaches as fast as I was signing customers, but I think it was pure just energy that people just could sense it, that I was excited and they wanted to join me too. So I celebrated every single thing, sharing different customers' results. Like, now it's like, I don't know. I feel like I don't do that as much as I did, but I was always sharing other people's results. And I think the other thing that's hard now is trips. There was a lot of my Time Hop recently has been filled with what would have been Success Club trip. Like over the last month, it's been back to back to back Success Club trips over the years and Super Saturdays. And when you have that stuff to talk about, it's so much easier to then invite to. Like, that's where so much of my coaching posts were centered around all the events, that we've lost that. So it's like, I've struggled personally trying to figure out how can I still post about it when we're all just sitting behind computer screens. So that part's been trickier, but definitely posting everywhere that I could possibly put it, celebrating all the little things, because those are what are going to relate to people more often than the big things. Like tonight, I actually did a coaching post and I talked about a pedicure because me and Aubrey tonight, when the boys went to hockey, me and Aubrey went and got our nails done. And I wrote a post talking about how that was like a driving force whenever I first started coaching. Was I just wanted the $25 to get a pedicure. But like tonight, I actually sat Aubrey down and told her that. Like I told her that I posted it, but I actually sat her down and explained to her, like, you understand, like I just told her the whole story of how it all worked. But in my mind, I'm like, that could become then, like I could talk about that on Instagram. Like I could talk about how what we did tonight in the meaning of it, that would be different than putting it in a post on Facebook. But the little things, celebrating all the little things, I think is bigger than some big crazy paycheck.
Got it. Makes sense. Thank you.
Anybody else want to answer that? I mean, Shannon's on my team, so she hears from me all the time.
No, I mean, that makes sense. The energy.
Well, I think just being relatable. Like, I mean, I always love seeing the big things. Like I hate in the National Wake Up Call, they used to at the big, like so long ago, they would actually say, like, they'd be like, Rachel, you know, welcome to the call. In Rachel's first month as a coach, she made $40. And then by the end of the first year, Rachel was earning an average of $500 a week. But by the end of Rachel's second year, she was earning $4,000 a week. And they would give this projection at the end of the call. I mean, I can picture myself driving to Idlewild with my kids in the car when Raina Odell was on the call and they gave her projection of income. And I sat there and I was like, you know, 4 times, 12 times this. And I was like, what the heck? I related to the $40 a week in the beginning or the $50, whatever. Like I related to the small things and then I projected it back out. And I actually brought it up on a call once, how I wish that they would bring that back, which they can't. Because to me, that was the most motivating thing because you need something that you can relate to. So like somebody else might relate to a pedicure, but they might see something else that I share and be like, pedicure's cool, but in the end, I want that. So I think it's being relatable with what got you started or where you are now, whatever it is, being relatable, and then also showing what's possible.
And like sharing now, like where you're at right now, like that's so key. It's like, don't wait until you're whatever you think you should be to start talking about the business opportunity. Like start now. Every one of us was like, okay, if the way to build a team is to talk about it, then I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to share the shirt. I'm going to share the invite to the Success Club trip that we can't go on. You know, like everything that we won, everything that we got. I mean, even just like going onto your social media and just talking about the team you want to build. You know, I would like, if I look at my memories and my time hop and as they come up, I'm like, I was talking about, I'm recruiting a team and I'm hosting this business opportunity call tonight. And I was talking about like what kind of team members I wanted and who I was looking for. It was like a job application, you know, like an ad that I was putting out there on social media for who I was looking for, you know? And so you can still do that, but you put it in your stories. You do like emails is a big one. Like everybody should be funneled in for sure to an email list. And I've always done that. Like customers always fill out a form, coach prospects always fill out a form so that every time I host a sneak peek, every time something's going on, I just keep, you know, I keep growing, but I also keep reaching back out to that list too. So it really does, like, your people that are not recruiting, it really has a lot to do with your headspace. You know, and most likely if you're saying to yourself, like, I'm a bad recruiter, or I'm not a strong recruiter, or, you know, you will manifest that into the reality because, you know, you have to like flip that on its head. Anybody that's like really struggling to build a team, there is a block there. So the best way to get over it is to like face it and walk through it. Good one. I'll email my coach prospect list the pedicure. Yes, you totally should. Absolutely.
I think that's it. Like the repurpose your content. Like I'll take the post that I wrote and now that post is an email.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's going to, and I'll use the picture that I put on the post will become the picture that I put in the email. So it's not doing more work. It's just putting it everywhere that you can where somebody's eyes might stumble.
And it's like, you're like, oh, I should really share that. And that could like literally be your headline. I just was thinking about you guys tonight. There might be another mom sitting here that's going to open this email tonight and she's going to need this story. And this is going to give her, it's going to give her hope or an opportunity she didn't even know was out there. Totally the way I would word it.
I have a quick question. I have been struggling with, I've been trying to increase the amount of reels that I'm doing on Instagram, but I have a lot more friends on Facebook. And so I'm struggling like taking the reel content and putting it on Facebook. So have you guys found a good way to do both? Because I know that the reels, you can't share them to Facebook, or I haven't figured out how.
You
Does
can.
anyone else?
You can share them. I don't think, for me, they don't get much traction on Facebook. I think it's a different crew, but you have to save it. I think a lot of people don't know how to do this. So save your reel or whatever store, like anything. When you upload it into Facebook, you'll see before you post it, there's an edit button. If you click that edit button, it will bring up a music option, just like on Instagram. And so if you download a reel that's an audio, like if I were to make a reel and you were to take it, that would save. If it's a song, it won't. But I guarantee you'll be able to find that song on Facebook, and you just then have to match it, and that can take a second to the right place. But it's kind of this hidden thing on there. I stumbled into it. So you can. It's just a couple extra steps. You're welcome.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. But I don't think they get as much traction, at least mine don't. My Facebook people don't know what to do with me on Reels.
The other thing I did, like I did a remix reel with Sean T. I screen recorded it is what I did. So it will grab the sound. So I just screen recorded mine and cropped it. And then I took like the screen recording and I put it into Pick Play Post, which put it into like a normal size. So it wasn't really long. But I haven't tried to put any other reels. I didn't realize you could do that. So that's a really good tip, Abby.
Okay, I have another question from my girls. Somebody asked, how do you lead a team when no one is working? You feel like you're talking to a wall. What is funny about this question is that we all had this conversation in our leadership pod today. So like you guys, your problems are our problems too, I promise you. How do you lead a team when no one is working? You feel like you're talking to a wall. How do you show up? What do you teach and share to your team when it's a team of discounts or people who say they want to work but aren't? You may want to take that one. I will give my 2 cents. This is McKenna. She's on our team. And I just said, I just think I believe in leading by example. You can't drag a dead horse, but you can like show people what you're doing. And it's just, for me, it's recruit. I shared that quote with you guys, everybody, from Bob Heilig. What did I say? I can't remember what it was, but exactly. But, stop trying to get people to work who don't want to work, and go find people who do want to work and teach them how. And so like, it really starts with one coach, and this is a business where, the people who are on your team now may not be on your team 2 years from now. It's a business where, you'll have a Kimberly come out of nowhere and say, hey, I want to coach. And you have no idea who she is. And you're like, okay, yeah, she says she wants to, and she actually does it, right? There's so much that's not in your control. The things that you can control are what you're doing. And I think that the work that we do is like, Melanie Mitro taught us this, it's so duplicatable. And if you're telling your team what you're doing and giving them the resources, somebody will duplicate it. You just have to keep looking for that person.
I also want to add, Rachel, that we talk a lot about on our team, just the fact that fundamentally, before you expect anyone else to follow you, to show up every day, you have to believe with every fiber in your being why you're showing up every day. So if people like my posts, great. If they don't, great. If people want to do what I do, great. If you don't, great. This business has completely changed my life. It's completely changed my bank account. It's completely changed the opportunities I can offer my family. It's completely changed my body, how I shop, how I eat, how I feel about myself, what I spend my time reading. And if I don't believe that and live by that, then how can I expect anyone else to do that? And if people don't show up, I'm sorry, too bad for you. You're totally missing out. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but it used to hurt my feelings. And I used to think, gosh, I put so much time into my coaches and they're not showing up. And I still can feel that way because I'm a sensitive soul. Those of you on the leadership know that about me. And I'm a sensitive soul, but I have learned I believe so strongly in this business and what it provides for our life that if other people don't, too bad, then you're going to miss out because it is a life changer, this business. And I really believe as leaders, that fundamental belief, like deep in the core of who we are, that like, we're not going to coach because we didn't hit a, I mean, like that's the lamest thing I've ever heard. No offense to anybody on this call, but if you're like, well, people aren't watching my stuff, so I don't think I'm going to coach anymore, then you don't really believe in this business. You don't really believe in it. You don't really believe in the power of our tools, the power of personal development, the power that this can change lives. So double check first your mindset. And when I did that, I was like, why does this hurt my feelings so much if I know what this has done for my family? I will find the people who believe in it as much as I do if I just keep showing up. And it doesn't mean I don't have bad days. And these leaders know we're in a pod together. Kate, my success partner, she knows like I have bad days, but fundamentally it's believing with every fiber of your being what this business has done for you, can do for you, and will do for you. So that's kind of what I would say first too, before you even get going with other people.
I want to piggyback off that. And the reason I asked you guys the Enneagram, because if you know it, if you're familiar with it, you know that your numbers will go to a disintegration number. And if you don't know that yet, look into it. So if you're a 1, I believe you disintegrate to a 4. So you take on the negative qualities of a 4. If you are a 3, you disintegrate to a 9. If you're an 8, I think you disintegrate to a 5. And why that's helpful for me is, for instance, I'm a 3. We're very motivated, very driven, very goal-centered. When I get overwhelmed and discouraged and miss goals, and honestly, I'll be super honest, this last year has been hard, and I have to really fight that. But what starts happening is I don't do the things I need to do. I will be productive. I'll go clean the pantry. I'll tackle house projects, but the tracker gets put off, right? Because I feel insecure as a leader. And so the 9 qualities are, I don't want to say they're lazy, but they're a little passive. They don't take action, which is very opposite how 3s usually behave. And so I can tell when I start to not show up on stories, when I start to not do the things that are income producing activities and start finding productivity to check my boxes, that shows me I'm starting to spiral. And so look at the negatives of your numbers, like look at where you're disintegrating. And if you start to see those things pop up, that's like what Kendra's saying, that's a mindset piece that really can help you identify key factors in your personality that will impact how you lead, because you can't lead if you're like in this negative cycle of like spiral, but your spiral will look different than mine, right? And so that's why it's super important to know. And that really helps me, because if I don't have a team that's motivated, then I feel like it reflects on me and I'm the world's worst leader, and no, my training doesn't work and no one wants to join me. So why should I recruit? And you just start, then I don't take action, right? Well, the only way that I can cure that as a 3 is to take action, because that's my personality type. For an 8, you know, that might look a little different. For a 1, that will look a little different, but that can be really helpful to kind of look at your disintegration points. Sorry, my kids are really loud right now. My husband's late from work, so it's chaos here.
I want to be careful that I didn't come off too harsh, but just understanding that we all have times in our business where we are doing everything right and we're showing up and it doesn't feel like things are happening. Like that is part of, again, step outside of Beachbody and recognize that you're a business owner and go talk to other business owners. It gives you perspective. And I don't know if that's just because of where I live. I'm surrounded by business owners, but I talk about this stuff all the time. And this is a normal issue as a business owner, that you have some really great months and you're doing everything right. And it is just, it's like this smooth sailing. And then there's other months where you're doing everything right and you're pushing yourself and you're getting outside your comfort zone and like nothing is happening. And that is normal. And that is part of being a business owner. And I think when I realized that, it takes the pressure off to be so perfect as a business owner and leader all the time. Like that's an impossible expectation that we have for ourselves, but it's not impossible to simply show up every day and do the things that we know we're supposed to do. Drink our Shakeology, do our workouts, do our personal development, do our tracker. And if we do those things, then we don't get overwhelmed by all the what's not happening, or even what is happening. We just kind of go with it. So if you have the opportunity to talk to somebody outside of Beachbody that owns a business, I would highly encourage you to do it, because we are legitimate business owners. So we're all going to have the same struggles. And that's what makes it so powerful. And that's what makes you so amazing, that you are here, because only those who stick with it during the difficult times become great leaders. And your coach invited you because they believe that about you. And you've shown that already. So know that right this moment, that you already have what it takes. You already are an incredible leader. And it's okay to feel frustrated and discouraged, and share that, and then move on, keep going. Don't let that stop you.
I love your heart, Kendra. I don't think anybody took it the wrong way. What do you? I think sometimes we just need, we need the honest conversations, right? For somebody to say those things to us, or for us to say them to ourselves. So I don't think anybody took it the wrong way. I know I have 2 questions from 2 of my coaches. One is, and I don't know who wants to take this, but one is, how or when to send invites when the same people watch your stories all the time, even when I'm slowly growing following. The newer ladies aren't watching right now. Is it the algorithm?
I can take it if you want me to. Okay, so no, it's not the algorithm, it's you. I love you. I say that with love, but there is a huge part of what you do that is manual. So I think, for starters, you and Jess Carey talked about this on the team call tonight, and you have to be like intentionally, and like, I can't think of the word, but like fast, like you're trying to grow that funnel. So twice a day, 20 minutes a day, this is my recommendation for you, is that you sit down and your goal is to say like, okay, I'm going to pick, either an account that maybe it's an author or somebody that you love following, or somebody that does recipes or something that's really you, that you can go to their page and you can go through their followers that are engaging and go through and click the person. You're like, okay, this person looks cool. Let me watch their stories. Let me leave a comment. Let me read their post and leave a genuine comment. Move to the next. For 20 minutes, you can do it by hashtag, but your whole goal is you're not overthinking it. You're like, nope, not my person, private account. Okay, let me try this person. And so you're just trying to drum up like business. You're just connecting with people. There's no other goal other than I'm going to connect with people, right? But when I do that for 20 minutes a day, you know what goes on in my mind? Crap, if I'm going to go connect with all these people, what are they going to see when they come back to my page? Are they going to see like what I have to offer? Are they going to see a little bit about who I am? It makes me keep my stories in check too. So I am every day, I'm not writing them down, but I'm going out and I'm making sure that I'm connecting with my ideal clients and bringing them back to me. And I will follow them. Like if I notice they comment back on my post, or they comment back on whatever I commented on theirs on, I'll go back to their page again, try to leave another comment, watch their stories again. Like I'm really nurturing this along based off of my DMs. And wouldn't you know, all of a sudden now you start to have new people that are coming in that should be, as long as you're doing your part and keeping up with creating stories that talk about your health and fitness journey, but that also talk about who you are, but then also give people a place where they can actually ask you for more info. So that's kind of the short and sweet, but I mean, it's manual. There is a part of what we do that is very intentionally going out. And if you have the same people watching your stories, you got to go cultivate that a little bit too.
Perfect. I think that was really good advice. And I do that too. Like I set a timer and I do that with my Instagram, but
Mhm.
then on Facebook, I just take the time to interact with everybody I'm already friends with and kind of get relationships re-engaged and connections kind of. And I don't know. I'm not always really great with that on Facebook, and I always like, oh, I have so many people I can connect with on Facebook and kind of build on there too, and try to get them. Like I'll ask them like, hey, are you on Instagram? Let's connect over there. Like I'll follow you, you follow me, and then that gives me their friends to connect with too, which helps with gaining more followers and more friends. The other question that my coach Amy had was, I'm finding that the clients in my group do not stay committed and they're not keeping up with their workouts or Shakeology. No matter how much content I'm posting or how much I encourage them to push themselves, I feel stuck and defeated. I'm open to any and all feedback. And I will say Amy is a newer coach. She's been coaching for a couple months.
I'll take this one because I think Courtney kind of asked the same thing in the chat bar. I think we've all been there, honestly. I mean, I know my first challenge groups for months were dead, especially after like week 1 or week 2. It's natural for people to kind of fall off. But some things that are working really well for me now. I mean, even now, you guys, I mean, we have this problem too, quite honestly. It doesn't matter, how big your groups are, how long you've been here. Engagement is always something that we can get better at. Some things like, okay, so I have started like really requiring my challengers to send me their before pictures, their before measurements. I really kind of handhold them a little bit, but I require it. And every week I have a reminder in my phone that says ask for progress pictures. So even if they're not active in the challenge group, which most of mine are, most kind of are, but I'm like in their inbox at least for like a month or two, being like, okay, send me your pictures, take your measurements, send them to me. And I want them to know that I'm serious about supporting them, and they need to be serious about their own goals because that's why they came to me. And I tell them that, I'm like, this is why you came to me. I also do like a challenger of the week. I have started to do that. I do the mompreneur stuff, but you don't have to have that. But I just make an image on Saturdays and it goes up, and I shout out somebody for just showing up or logging their workouts, or like this last week, one newer challenger lost 7 pounds. And I feel like they're kind of all like watching for that, who's she going to recognize next kind of thing. And then, if your challenge groups are dead, like, I mean, you can start a new one every month. I don't do that anymore. I start one every quarter, but just every month, like roll it over. And for them to get back in the group, tell me what workout you're doing. Tell me what nutrition plan you're following. Do you have your Shakeology? And you'll find people who, and also too, like ask your challengers what they want from you. Do you want a nightly check-in? Do you want a weekly check-in? Like I noticed you, like I did this like a couple weeks ago. I messaged everybody in my group that wasn't participating, and I was like, hey, you're in the group, but I don't see you participating or logging your meals at the end of the day. Can you tell me why? Like, is this just not something that it's not accountability that you need or want, or can I serve you in a different way? Like, I really feel like, just asking them what they want. Now, I can't like message everybody individually at night. Like, you don't pay me enough to do that, but like, this is the accountability I promised, and this is what you said you needed. So is it like a mindset thing on your end, or, just talk to me? And I just find that starting those conversations one-on-one every so often really helps me serve my people better. But I still have like, there's probably 100 people in my general challenge group, and there's probably about 30 that really are active. So it's a numbers thing. If that helps at all.
I do that too with the personal check-ins. And I think people are busy, like people are just plain busy. So it's not like it's like, not that they don't want to, they're just forgetting. But I also find people will open up so much more to me on a personal level than they will in the group. So I did it actually this afternoon. So I'll do it at a time when I know that I can not only send them, but I can actually respond back and have the conversations. So I plopped down on my couch with my blanket and my laptop, and I went through every single person that's in my general challenge group. And it literally was checking in. How was your weekend? Ready for the week ahead? And I send that same exact message constantly. But so many people, and I look like the last time, it's probably been like 2 or 3 weeks since I did it. It is on my to-do list every week to do it Sunday or Monday. I kind of flop it around because that's what I use. How was your weekend? Ready for the week ahead? And I just try to get them to talk to me. And some will be so short. It was good. Thanks. Okay, you don't want to talk. Totally fine. Not holding it against you. But most people, they really open up. Like, thanks so much for the personal check-in. And like, the one girl was like, I lost 1.2 pounds. I realize that's not the only thing you're looking for, but I was really excited to tell you. And that girl never checks into a challenge group. So I think you have to figure out where your people are. Now, the people who check into my groups every single day, they didn't get that message from me today because I know how their weekend was because they check in with every detail, and that's fine too. So figure out where the people are. And some really appreciate that personal connection. And for some of my people, they won't touch the challenge group. They're in it. They see it. They don't need it, but they'd rather have a message from me once a week, just saying, hey, how was your week? Ready for the week ahead? We'll chat back and forth a couple times. And like Rachel, I do the same thing. Anything I can do to help you. And if they tell me, oh my gosh, I'm really struggling. Okay, what are you struggling with? To be my nutrition. Okay, which program are you following? Have you rewatched any of the videos? Maybe go through and do a refresh your mind on the principles of the nutrition program. Did you see the recipe I shared here? So I'll engage with them however I can. I very much try to meet them where they're at. You can't make them check into the group. You can't make them participate, but for some, that's enough. Like, that's all they need from you, is to know that you actually genuinely do care. So I try to keep as much as I can in the challenge group, because that'd be great if everybody checked in there, but they don't. So I take it to the personal message. Like I said, once a week is my goal. Sometimes it's every 2, but just to kind of give them that little one-on-one, and they really appreciate that.
Hey, I had a good question from one of my coaches, and she said, how do you manage onboarding multiple coaches, like bringing in new coaches, while also continuing to make your own personal business a priority and grow it while you're helping mentor new coaches?
You want me to take it? I can talk about that one. Okay, so here's the most important thing is, and I learned this the hard way, is you always have to remember, and I feel like my leaders could probably recite this one in their sleep, right? Like, your personal business cannot take a backseat, because what happens, and just in full transparency, like, how many of you have like poured your heart and your soul into coaches that were like, I'm going to build the business, and then they are like gone a month later, 2 months later, 3 months later. And so we can get really excited and spend all of our time answering their DMs, but here's just something to just put in the forefront of your mind. Personal business always comes first. So however you plan your day, however you plan your time, just really say to yourself, okay, the first hour and a half is going to be my invites, my follow-ups, my own business building time, creating my social media posts, stuff that I need to do. And then you have to really look at the individual when you're onboarding a new coach. Like, do you have a process that you go through? Do you have a welcome email that you send them? It's an email from you that at least gives them some sort of direction. Like, I want you to go watch the videos in the getting started part of the Coach Online Office, right? Email me when you're done with those videos. That's a great task. Like, another thing I ask coaches when they sign up is, what kind of coach do you want to be? Do you want to be a hobby, part-time, full-time coach? If they're not willing to respond to an email and answer a few simple questions, I'm not going to set up a one-on-one with them, okay? Because they haven't taken that step. So I want you to think about, okay, how can I make sure I put some of this responsibility back on them? So that's really important. If you're going to do a getting started right call with a new coach, they do need to be somebody that wants to work the business. They need to be somebody that's taken some initial action. You know, they've done some of the videos, whatever you want them to do. And then set up a call, but don't make it an hour. Make it a half hour of your time. All right. And then always leave them with an assignment at the end, right? You know, really kind of hear their heart, hear what they want out of the business, talk to them about the goals, you know, in the first month, help answer some of their questions and send them on their way. But again, I don't schedule those calls till later in the day because I always want to make sure I get my stuff done first as well. Okay. If somebody keeps coming back to you, I need help. Are they listening to the national wake up calls? Are they getting on the team calls? Are they using the resources? So you want to make your people independent, right? So like you want to say, oh, you can find that in the Coach FAQ. Do you know where to find that? Oh, no, you don't. Here, let me tell you, go into your Coach Online office, right? Like you just direct them once or twice and they're going to get it. So there is that, like, you do have to begin to balance team and time, but really until you have a big team, it's really like 90% or 100% of your time is your personal business, and maybe 10% of the hours you work your business are spent on your team. And if you're kind of off from that, then you're not growing, you're just sort of maintaining what you have.
All right, I think that was all our questions. Do you guys have any more for us? This is it. This is your chance to ask us anything. Sorry, I don't know what they're watching in there that's loud.
So Rachel, what's the plan after this? Like, do we wait until the very end and then how are we tallying, like figuring out who hit their goals?
Yeah, so the spreadsheet, what I'll do is I'll just share the spreadsheet with like our leaders, and you just qualify your person.
Okay.
You know, just double check it. So yeah, our pot is like, I don't know, once we add all our $20 in, I think it'll be like over 700. So yeah, so it'll be a nice little payout. So you guys, like, don't I've earned like $300 or $400 in these groups before because I was one of the people that just kept showing up, you know. So you can find your 6 people, you know, and know that, like I said, we're doing a live coach opportunity call on Wednesday night. Just you know, just make sure you're talking about coaching, make sure you're showing people the work. I went live in that Rising Leaders today and talked about that, but yeah, we're here for it. So you have until May 6th, I guess it's May 5th, to add your 6 coaches and to pop an emerald. So that's what we're looking for. And we intentionally, you guys, didn't make this a push to diamond. I don't know if you noticed that, like how many push to diamonds have we all done or led or whatever? And diamond is a great goal. It's a fantastic goal. And we want you guys there. We want you 1-star, 2-star. But, you know, just really and truly, honestly, if you can add 6 coaches every month, every 6 weeks, 1 coach a week, you know, and you're developing emeralds, you're growing a solid business, quite honestly. So that was kind of our goal for you guys. Does that overwhelm you? Like, does that intimidate you, adding a coach a week, popping emeralds? Like, you may want to talk that out. Yeah. You're welcome, Helen.
No, that does not. I mean, to me, that's bite sizing, or what is that saying? Bite of the elephant at a time, or whatever. Like, that's so much more doable for me than not breaking it down, you know?
Very good. That's all I have. I don't know if you guys, Kate, Kendra, Abby, anybody else, you guys have anything else? Megan? All right. Well, wait, so is this our last call? Is that our last call?
I think we would have one more because we said we're running it through March, May.
Yeah.
May
We
6th.
do have one more.
Next Monday.
So May 3rd.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's almost May.
No.
It sounds weird to even say out loud.
I think that the one thing that I just want to say that this has just always stuck with me, Melanie, you probably said this way back when, but I just always remember, like, if you treat this like a business, it will pay you like a business. and that's just always stuck with me. A lot of us don't treat this business like we would our corporate job, or any job that we have. We don't show up to this business like we do our other jobs that we've had full-time or part-time. And I think once we realize, like, when we start treating this business like we have worked our other jobs or currently work our jobs, it will pay us like that. So I don't know, that's just always stuck with me. So wanted to share.
Awesome. That's so true. And like I said, I think it's important for us to be transparent. We were struggling, a little bit in our leadership pod today, you guys. It's not like it's easy for us. I think we have a lot of momentum. We have a lot of momentum and compound effect that is happening, but it is because, like Kate said, we don't stop when, like, I would never not go into my full-time job that I had just because I was like PMSing or didn't feel like showing up that day, right? I would lose my job and wouldn't get paid. And so it's when you approach this business that way, just because I feel defeated or someone hurt my feelings or I am PMSing, I'm still going to bust out my work tracker and do the job, because this too shall pass, right? And when it does pass, I want to still have that momentum going, so that's really important.
100%.
Awesome, you guys. Well, keep showing up, and we will be back next week with something really good for you, I'm sure. Okay.
Thanks guys for coming.
All right. Good night.
Good night,
Good
guys.
night, everyone.